Hash 58 years later, Star Trek still hasn't revealed what happened to Captain Kirk's, the Doomsday Machine, enemy. It's been nearly 6 decades since Star Trek, the original series, aired one of its most haunting and iconic episodes, The Doomsday Machine. First broadcast in 1967, it remains one of the franchise's most gripping hours of television, a story about obsession, sacrifice, and the terrifying scale of an unstoppable cosmic threat. Yet, 58 years later, one major mystery from that episode has never been resolved. What happened to the planet-killing weapon itself? Despite Star Trek's countless spin-offs, prequels, and sequels, from The Next Generation to Picard, the fate of the Doomsday Machine remains a gaping black hole in canon. The weapon that almost destroyed entire solar systems simply vanished after one desperate act of heroism, and the franchise has never truly addressed whether more of them exist, where they came from, or if they're still out there waiting to wake up again. That silence might be one of the most chilling unresolved stories in Star Trek history. The Doomsday Machine was Star Trek's original cosmic horror. In The Doomsday Machine, Captain James T. Kirk and the crew of the USS Enterprise encounter the wreck of another Federation starship, the USS Constellation, commanded by Commodore Matt Decker. Decker, traumatized and half-crazed, tells them that a gigantic machine destroyed the planets of an entire solar system, and his own ship was nearly destroyed trying to stop it. The device, resembling a massive metallic horn or planet-sized weapon, devours entire worlds for fuel. It's an ancient, automated killing machine from some forgotten war, a remnant of a civilization that likely destroyed itself by creating the ultimate weapon. Kirk and Spock deduce that it's unstoppable with conventional weapons. Even the mighty Enterprise is powerless against it. Ultimately, it takes Decker's sacrifice, piloting his damaged ship directly into the Doomsday Machine's maw to destroy it from within. The explosion seems to disable the creature, but Star Trek never explicitly confirms whether the weapon is completely destroyed. The closing lines of the episode even leave open the idea that this may not have been the only one. Greater than, if so, there may be another one like it. For decades, that line has lingered in the minds of fans. The Doomsday Machine's origins remain a mystery. Even among Star Trek's deep lore, few threats are as unsettling as the Doomsday Machine, because so little about it is known. Was it created by an ancient race as a deterrent weapon? Did it go rogue and wipe out its creators? How old is it? None of those questions have ever been answered in official canon. Gene Roddenberry and writer Norman Spinrad, who penned the episode, left it intentionally ambiguous. Spinrad once described the concept as an allegory for nuclear weapons, a machine designed for deterrence that inevitably leads to destruction. But while its metaphor was clear, its literal story within Star Trek was left unfinished. Over the decades, expanded universe stories, from novels to comics, have tried to fill in the blanks. In the Star Trek New Voyages fan series, a follow-up episode titled In Harm's Way even featured multiple Doomsday Machines attacking Federation space. Books like Vendetta by Peter David suggested that the Borg might have been connected to their origin, hinting at shared technology or design philosophies. However, none of these theories are official canon, and the live-action franchise has avoided revisiting the Doomsday Machine in any direct way. That avoidance almost feels deliberate, as if the Federation itself decided it was better not to know. Star Trek has revisited many classic threats, but not this one. One of the most fascinating parts of Star Trek's longevity is its tendency to revisit and reimagine its greatest villains. The Borg have evolved from terrifying antagonists to complex philosophical foils. The Gorn, once rubber-suited creatures, have been reinvented as terrifying predators in strange new worlds. Even the Enterprise crew themselves have been resurrected through prequels, reboots, and alternate timelines. But the Doomsday Machine, arguably one of the most fearsome weapons in Star Trek history, has never reappeared in the main canon. That's remarkable when you consider how much the modern Star Trek shows love to pull from the franchise's legacy. Strange New Worlds and Discovery have dived deep into the original series era, unearthing long-forgotten concepts and expanding them for a new generation. And yet, in 58 years, not one series has chosen to show us what happened to the Doomsday Machine. Did the Federation attempt to study the wreckage? Was it entirely vaporized? Or did Starfleet simply mark the region as off-limits, fearful of what might still be lurking in the void? The silence speaks volumes. The Doomsday Machine represents Star Trek's most chilling what-if. Part of what makes the Doomsday Machine so effective, even all these years later, is that it feels like something humanity could still stumble upon. It's not a villain with an ideology or a face. It's an automated system of annihilation, eternally executing its programming long after its creators are gone. That concept resonates powerfully with Star Trek's core themes of technological ethics and moral responsibility. The machine was meant to be a deterrent, a weapon to prevent war, but it outlived its makers and turned into the very apocalypse it was meant to avert. If Star Trek ever revisited it, the story could explore parallels with modern AI ethics or autonomous warfare. What happens when machines built to protect outlast the civilizations that designed them? In a galaxy filled with empires and powers constantly vying for dominance, the idea that one of these ancient horrors might still be roaming between the stars is deeply unsettling. And that may be the reason Star Trek hasn't revisited it. Some mysteries are more powerful when left unanswered. Could the Doomsday Machine return in a future series? Given how Star Trek has recently embraced serialized storytelling and legacy callbacks, it's entirely plausible the Doomsday Machine could make a comeback, perhaps in Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, or even a future Starfleet Academy series. Imagine Captain Pike or Captain Burnham uncovering reports of a similar signature, a pattern of destroyed planets eerily matching the constellation's encounter logs. A modern retelling could blend classic nostalgia with contemporary visual effects, showing just how terrifying the weapon would be with today's cinematic scale. Alternatively, a Star Trek Section 31 movie could explore the darker side of the Federation's curiosity. What if Section 31 secretly tried to salvage or replicate Doomsday Machine technology? What if fragments of the weapon's core are still drifting through space, emitting strange energy signatures? The Doomsday Machine's presence in the Star Trek timeline could have ripple effects stretching into the 25th century and beyond. It could even serve as a unifying threat that brings together crews from across different eras, the Enterprise, the Discovery, and the Titan A, in a storyline that ties the original series to the modern age. The Federation's silence is the real mystery. The most chilling thing about the Doomsday Machine isn't its power. It's the Federation's apparent decision to pretend it never existed. We know from Starfleet's meticulous record-keeping that they study and catalog almost everything. Yet there's no mention of the Doomsday Machine in later Star Trek shows, even when discussing planet killers, cosmic weapons, or ancient civilizations. That absence suggests one of two possibilities. One, the Federation covered it up. Maybe Starfleet realized the weapon was too dangerous to acknowledge, or perhaps too tempting to replicate. In a galaxy where balance of power is everything, the very knowledge that such a device could exist might destabilize peace. Two, the threat is still out there. If there were more than one Doomsday